Glory be to God. My name is Rashad Johnson. I'm making this video because the video that you're about to witness is a past event. Today's date is October 24th, 2025. The videos that you're witnessing at this moment is in 2024. Now, my journey started in 2016, which I do have a testimony series if you would like to know more about me and where I came from and giving my life over to the Lord and why God chose me. And when I say He chose me to document my journey with my wife. During this journey, God done blessed me. He done taught me. I done learned how to cast out demons. I learned how to be righteous. I learned how to love. I learned how to become a new person through the Word of God. But when it comes to my wife, God had us go through trials and tribulations to build me up. I had to go through some spiritual warfare. I had videos that dates back to 2019 with me and my wife when we got married. And the first year we was married. And the spiritual warfare attacks happened that suddenly, where I noticed a lot of the stuff that I'm going through is not normal. It didn't make sense. There was no logic. There was lies and manipulation and deceivingness coming from my wife. A woman that loved God, that worked at the church, that was prayer lines and Bible study, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. I was already gave my life to the Lord. Me and my wife, before we got married, we didn't have sex. We didn't live with each other until we moved in. So I was following the instructions that my God, Lord, Christ gave me from a previous marriage before my wife that I'm with right now. But what y'all gonna witness in these videos is how I overcame, how I been doing the will of God. There is video, actual footage of arguments of me and my wife and her acting out in spiritual warfare, attacking me. But a lot of my videos is just me talking to you over the phone, giving you a rundown of a spiritual argument that I just had. Now, I didn't want to post my life over to social media and Facebook, but God was putting this on my spirit to do. And I fought with God. I didn't want to do this because I love my wife. I'm in love with my wife. And like I said, I didn't want people in my personal life. But come to find out, and when I realized this is bigger than me and my wife, this is bigger than me and my wife. It's for everybody out there that's watching these videos that God done guided to watch these videos. It's just a lot of my videos may not even be talking about my wife. I done had spiritual arguments with being attacked by the enemy with co-workers that I really did have relationships with, that I truly loved. My children, my siblings, my sisters, my father, my mother. I've been attacked from all angles, from my finances, my name being slurred. I done had curses put on me. And God had to teach me how to fight spiritually. I had to learn how to rebuke and bind, declare, decree and declare. I had to learn how to recognize these demons and their tactics and how they fight. What causes a person to allow the demon into to controlling them? The Bible's crystal clear. I do back up a lot what I say with the Bible verses in the videos. This is not about, let me show you my life in drama. This is showing you how God is maneuvering and how great our God is. He used me and my family, but he mainly used me to do his will, which is my purpose. Even though today, October 24th, 2025, my story is not done. My wife and I are in a divine separation where God had to separate us to correct things to get me and my wife equally yoked. And she been through some things. I haven't spoken to her, but you will see how God brings us back together. You just got to watch the videos in order. It's a lot of videos. It's a lot of videos. This is not a quick story. This is a teaching moment. God tells me what to say, what to put. He done use prophets to reach out to me and tell me what's going on with my wife or what to expect, how to fight the enemy. Like it was people that I was underneath that went on the journey before me that is giving me the wording to understand what I'm going through and how to fight the enemy. But when you watch these videos, you will see the miracles, you will see the breakthroughs, you will see things that I said that took place with me that God told me this is not going to stand, and it did not stand. A lot of y'all may be going through spiritual warfare and don't even know it. A lot of y'all may be separated from your spouses and your loved ones, or you may not be talking to your loved ones or your mothers or your fathers or co-workers, and you think that it's just normal. No, you're being attacked. This is spiritual warfare. I talk about everything. And like I said, I use the biblical Bible verses to back up everything I'm saying. So I'm not going to make this too long. Continue to watch these videos in order. They are numbered from episode 1 to episode 300 and whatever. But watch how the story plays out. And like I said, if you want to reach me, my email is in the description. If you want to know more about me and my journey, go look up my testimony series. I love y'all, and I'm out. Glory be to God. It's May 28th, 2024. Giving y'all an update on what's going on in my life when it comes to my wife and my son. My wife is back to her regular self once again. Ain't arguing with my son. My son, on the other hand, you know, yesterday I attempted to have a talk with him, my wife, our other son, on what to expect, what I expect. And, you know, when it comes to household chores and, you know, the back and forth that been going on with my wife and my son that hasn't really been going on for the last 3-4 days. But when I got to my son and I told him the disrespect needs to stop when it comes to me. And, you know, when you live with people, especially your parents, yeah, you're 18, but if I tell you I need you to come with me, it ain't, I don't want to go. Or I need you to do the yard and you tell me I'm not doing it. That don't fly in my house. That lets me know you're grown and you could be out on your own. But if you're willing to listen to what I got to tell you and you do what I'm asking you to do, I don't got a problem you living here with me. It's not trying to treat you as trying to control your life. You can do whatever decisions you want to do. But when it comes to me and my wife, I can't allow that, for you to be feeling like you got leverage and, you're doing us a favor by living with us, because we didn't go out searching for you and asking you, hey, we need you to come live with us because we need your help. No, you needed somewhere to stay. I opened my doors like always. But see, what happened was that enemy started using him and started putting thoughts in his head that wasn't true. So he took it like, oh, I'm kicking you out. I said, no, those words never came out my mouth. I said, you're free to go. Hello? So he runs with this, I want him out the house. And I'm like, those words never came out my mouth. And all I really wanted to tell him was, hey, we had an agreement that you'll be here for 6 months once you started working, and it was up to you to try to find you some full-time work, 40 hours a week or whatever it was going to take to start saving up to get you a car and then eventually get your own place. So I'm trying to work with him and tell him how to do things, what he needs to do, but that enemy continued to control him. And I never really casted out that demon because of I looked at it like I needed to cast it out, but not just cast it out. I had to do it with my wife also. But he continued to smoke weed and not do what we're asking for him to do. He became a liar. Like, my son, and I still have hope and I still have faith that God can make it right. It's going to take some work on my end so God can see. But he still want to live a homosexual life. He still want to smoke weed. He still don't want to believe in God's word. Like, he's sinning on all types of levels, that's not good on his end. But it's just something that I'm gonna have to deal with. I'm pulling up at work, so I'm gonna have to talk to y'all a little bit later. I'll continue this. Continuation. I'm on my break. Like I said, my son, enemies using him on a whole lot of different levels. He uses his mom to validate everything, and she just, like, this done happened before. And I'm gonna tell you what she did. His mom, me and my wife went to a barbecue with our daughters yesterday. But that morning, with my son being upset, claiming that I'm putting him out, even though I didn't put him out, those words never came out of my mouth, and he's choosing to leave, she calls herself calling CPS to talk about my relationship that she has not witnessed, and it had nothing. And me and my wife wasn't even arguing yesterday, the day before yesterday. We ain't argued since I've been back. We ain't argued or nothing since I've been back. But I did have a discussion with my son that I did not argue with him about. But she felt the need to call CPS and talk about me and my wife and me making videos and putting them on YouTube. Why would she say anything about me making videos and putting them on YouTube if you're calling CPS? See, this ain't nothing but the devil, people. This ain't nothing but the enemy. So now I got CPS. I talked to CPS today, and they asking me questions. Do I drink and I smoke? And I'm like, no. Do I got mental health problems? I'm like, no. And my wife don't either. But, you know, I guess they got to do their due diligence because I went to jail. That my wife claims that I made her mouth bleed, but I'm like, how did I make your mouth bleed if I didn't hit you in your mouth? I didn't strike you in your mouth. I didn't elbow you in your mouth. I didn't grab your lips. You try to bite me and your rim of your lip inside your mouth was aggravated from you trying to bite me. And me grabbing my wife and telling her this needs to stop is abusive. And like I said, she went to call the police. And I'm like, why are you calling the police? I didn't do nothing to you. Then you go outside and and tell the neighbors to call the police. But then you stick to this story that I'm some type of aggressor, and all I did was wake you up out your sleep to argue with you. The enemy knows how to use, it's like the Matrix, man. They could use whoever's walking around. And that's what it feels like. I feel like I'm in the Matrix. And those programmers, they jump in and out of bodies. Because like I said, my child's mind didn't even have to get involved. You're mad because what? Rylan is choosing to leave? You feel like I'm mistreating him? You ain't seen me mistreat him. Rylan is over here lying. I haven't mistreated him. It's weird. This is weird activity, people. Then my wife had me blocked pretty much all day. She comes and vents to me about her job. We done had this talk for about a month. And now the opportunity is going to come when she has to be able to speak to her supervisors, the owners of the company. And now she's making it seem like they already made their mind up. I don't got nothing to say. And it's like, are you serious? Are you like, okay. But like I said, she had me blocked all day. And I'm like, what did I do to you for you to have me blocked? We talked about Rylan. Talked about your job. You didn't like what I had to say. So you allowed your feelings again to control you. That you had me blocked. Then she texts me. And I call her. And then it's right back. Even though I just said to her, I do not pick Rylan first. Guess what happened about a couple minutes later? She repeats the same thing. You putting your hands on me, but you didn't put your hands on your son. First of all, I didn't put my hands on you. I didn't do anything to you aggressive. And then what's this whole, I need to put my hands on my son? For what? What? So you're choosing the wrong person. You and your son can have the house. And I'm like, well, okay, here we go. So I had to hang up on her. Every time I start hearing the conversation go left turn and on some enemies type of stuff, I'm just not going to talk to her. Then CPS woman came to the house after she spoke to me. She called, I guess, went over to my house to do a walk-in, check the refrigerators, check the girls, asked Coretta some questions, and Coretta pretty much told her, I don't fear for my life from my husband. We had an argument, and that was it. Same thing I said. But She gave her a whole lot of resources and everything else. For some reason, the enemy's using CPS like our daughters is in super danger. I haven't went to jail in 25 years. In 20 years. My wife haven't been to jail since 2019 when she called the police on herself, which is not even normal. And I didn't do nothing to her that night. My wife the enemy's using my wife to hate on my son, but my son haven't done nothing to her. Not saying that he's perfect, but at the end of the day, if he did do something to her, he'll have to go, but he didn't do anything. But she still keeps trying to make it seem like I'm choosing my son over her, even though he's supposed to be leaving on the 1st. And if I didn't want him to leave, do you think I would have told him not to? I would have been begging him, you don't have to go. You don't have to leave. Please stay here. But then I get it from her, and I get these comments. Well, you need to marry your son. I'm like, where is this coming from? I'm not agreeing with my son. People would feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. I want this to end. I just want it to end. And I know it will end once I don't buy into these arguments, which I've been doing a good job. I don't argue with my son. When he gets to talking, I say what I need to say, and then he'll just keep going and going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny. I say what I need to say to my wife like today, and she'll just keep going and going and going and going. I didn't respond back to my baby mama because it ain't nothing I need to say to her. I don't even need to show no energy. And when my wife start talking reckless and saying enemy type of stuff that I recognize, I just hang up the phone. I'm not going to argue and give you my energy. I am done giving my energy when I know the truth, when I don't need to lie, when God sees everything. If I really was doing something to my wife, I'll be convicted. The Holy Spirit would judge me and tell me, first of all, you need to go apologize to your wife for what you done said and what you done did. How do I know? Because it was a time when I did do something to my wife and the Holy Spirit made me go apologize. If it was something verbal or if it was me swinging on her when I had the baby in my arms, protecting the baby to get her away from me while she swung the belt buckle at me, my newborn baby, which was in 2019, which I done said this in these videos multiple different times, so I don't got nothing to hide. I don't need to lie. I don't need to lie to y'all. Lying to y'all is manipulating y'all. And I'm not in the manipulate, because if I'm manipulating, then that means I'm in the devil's realm. And I'm doing devilish, sinful things. There's no need for me to lie. When it comes to me and my wife, but I'm going to tell you how the enemy works. So I talked to the CPS woman. She wants both of us to take domestic violence courses. Now, if you take domestic violence courses, that's pretty much saying that you're guilty and you have a misdemeanor on you, right? On top of that, you have to pay for these courses. I did domestic violence courses when I was 25 years old. But like I said, when I go to court, I'm pleading not guilty. Because I didn't do anything to my wife. They got photos, they got pictures. It better be blood. Her mouth better be bloody and teeth should be bloody if I did anything to my wife. If I busted her mouth open. Teeth should be bloody, it should be dripping, a cut from her mouth. But the irritation from inside her mouth, nah, that ain't come for me putting my hands on my wife. So yes, I will fight it. I'm not taking no domestic violence classes. I'm not taking anything because I didn't do anything wrong. I don't have anger problems. I don't have domestic violence problems. I know what domestic violence is. I once had a domestic. I once did domestic violence. I be attacked more than anything, and I don't call the police. But this is stuff that you can't, when you're dealing with the enemy, you can't point out the real. You can't point out what's really going on. I can't tell my wife, you done call the police 50 million times on me. You done physically hurt me and cut me and bit me and scratched me, and I ain't never had to call the police. Why? Because I know it would handicap our family. And I know I'm not fighting my wife. And I know financially what will happen. Even when I was talking to my wife today, she brought up the videos because I guess CPS looked at a couple videos. They looked at my last video. But my thing is, people ain't looking at these videos from beginning to the end. And then she said, it will make, your wife should feel a certain way if you're filming her. Huh? What you mean? Because she's acting out? So you can't film somebody when they're acting out? She ain't famous. She ain't being embarrassed at work. Ain't nobody saying they go to the woman that's been in those videos. It's to the point, man. I'm not going to even speak to my wife because I don't know who I'm gonna get from day to day. You say one thing, it's a what? It's hold on. Where's all this animosity coming from? I didn't say anything to you, but good morning. Did you want something? Do you want me to make you something? I don't wake up to argue with my wife. I don't call her to argue. But everything I say is like a sting to her ears. Even before I made this video, I was getting off the phone when I'm talking about her job, what she said. So what you're going to do, you're going to wake me up at 5 o'clock again? So now that's the new thing, wake you up at 5 o'clock. I just hung up the phone. When I heard that, I just hung up the phone. Like, where'd that come from? Why, huh? Wake you up for what? I woke you up the other time, last 2 weeks ago, to talk about our son. Because I can't talk to you. When I'm supposed to talk to you? If I'm at work now, when can I talk to you face to face? I got to wait till the weekend? And then you ain't going to want to talk then. Because you can't talk to somebody that's being, when that demon could just hop in and out of a person and control the conversation. It's been 15 minutes, man. I'm in this video. I love y'all. I'm out.